father made him an offer he couldn't refuse.
What was that?
Luca Brazzi held a gun to his head, and my father assured him that either his brains or his signature would be on the contract.
It's Sunday morning on CBS. And here again is Jane Pauley.
That's Al Pacino as Michael Corleone in The Godfather. Over his 50 years on stage and screen, Pacino's played so many singular characters, it's hard to pick a favorite. With Ben Mankiewicz, he talks about the one character many of us don't really know much about, Al Pacino.
On a bright day overlooking Beverly Hills, Al Pacino recalls a warning from years ago.
What did your therapist tell you about coming out here to L.A.?
He said, "Don't go to L.A., Al."
But here he is. And even now, at 84, he's still adjusting to that Hollywood life.
You have to learn how famous you are.
You think you have now?
Well, now I'm trying. What do you want from me? I actually put a tie on.
You put a tie
to
on?
see you. That's what famous guys do.
He's more than famous.
Say hello to my little friend.
He's Al Pacino.
It's not personal, Sonny. It's strictly business.
9 Oscar nominations.
When you are out of order. You're out of order. You're out of order.
7 straight
I want this no-face dead, and I want Tracy dead.
without a win.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Until Scent of a Woman.
Hoo-ah!
You broke my streak.
Plus 2 Emmys, 2 Tonys, a Kennedy Center Honor, and a Lifetime Achievement Award from the AFI. He's been a leading man in the movies and a character actor for nearly 55 years.
I'm an old fella, you know. And when I have my hair now and I go out and someone takes a picture of me, all you see is like a white hydrant, you know, white fire hydrant. I just say I don't feel I'm gray yet. I don't want to be gray. I'm that guy in the book cover.
The guy on the book cover is finally telling his own story. It's in his new memoir, Sonny Boy. That's what his mom called him.
What's your mother's name?
Rose.
They lived with his grandparents in a 3-room walk-up in the South Bronx. Rose kept her Sonny Boy in when his friends tempted him with the streets.
So they're calling up like, Sonny, come down.
Come down, and she said, no. I was so upset, so angry at her. I think she was part of what saved my life, kept me off drugs. I couldn't go out. I went to school.
If his mother saved his life, another woman changed it.
This Blanche Rothstein, who was my 8th grade teacher, actually came to my apartment and she sat down and talked to my grandmother. What she said, I don't know, but I think it finally came down to you should encourage this boy to do what he's doing, the acting. You have to. He is made to do this.
Good reviews came early. At 13, after a school show, a stranger came up to him and said, "You're the next Marlon Brando." His response?
Who's Marlon Brando?
At 16, Pacino dropped out of school to immerse himself in the New York theater scene. To survive, he took any job. Messenger, janitor, switchboard operator, twice an usher, twice fired.
Well, I was in this Carnegie Hall place.
This Carnegie Hall place. It's Carnegie Hall.
It's Carnegie Hall. I was, I had this tuxedo on, and they liked, I was relatively good looking. So there were these people coming in, and I'm supposed to seat them.
Okay, it's the job of an usher, Al.
It is the job of an usher,
Okay.
finally.
Yeah.
But I didn't last doing that. I just didn't have the heart. So I said, sit anywhere you want. I said, you got a better seat if you're up further than when you're down. And then there was a fist fight and a riot.
And
on the spot, I was gone.
The winner is Al Pacino.
Thankfully, Pacino had the stage, where he made a name for himself and got the attention of a young director, Francis Ford Coppola, who saw him as Michael Corleone in The Godfather.
Francis wanted you, but...
Oh, nobody else did, though.
He got the part, but studio execs pushed to fire him. We watched a scene that Pacino thought, even hoped, would be his last on the film.
You run out of the restaurant. You jump into the car.
I missed the car and fell.
Your ankle's busted, and you think, what?
Thank you, God.
You felt,
I'm going to get out of this film.
That's right. Al Pacino was relieved. He thought he was so badly injured he could get out of The Godfather. Thankfully, his ankle healed, and the kid stayed in the picture.
If they would take all that energy, see, put it into straight police work, we'd have the city cleaned up in a week.
A string of hits followed, including Serpico and Dog Day Afternoon.
Robbing a bank's a federal offense. They got me on kidnapping, armed robbery. They're gonna bury me, man.
Where an ad lib became a classic cinematic moment.
This great AD, assistant director, comes running up to me as I'm about to go out and says, "Say Attica." I said, "What?" He said, "Say Attica. Say Attica."
Attica! Attica! Attica!
And the crowd just went into spasm, and they knew it. They were right, in it.
All the attention, all the success didn't sit well with Pacino. He coped by drinking.
Alcohol is a depressant.
Yeah.
Like literally brings you down.
and how'd your life change when you stopped?
Well, it got a little worse for a while. It really was terrible. But then eventually, thank God, they got there.
In his memoir, he's candid about his struggles with alcoholism. And he also reveals that he nearly died from COVID.
One thing I'm sure will catch people off guard is how close we all came to losing you over COVID.
Yeah. Out of this world. I mean, I was here and then I wasn't. The nurse said my pulse stopped. Now, I don't think my pulse stopped.
But it doesn't really matter whether technically you were close to death or not. You felt it. And you had
I really did. It was so real. And I didn't see any light. I didn't see anything at all. There's a speech in Hamlet where he says to be or not to be, you know. And then when he talks about leaving the earth when you die, and he says, no more. No more. How about that?
These days, there's plenty more for Al Pacino. He's as busy as ever.
I like sitting on a couch, but I keep working. I've got 6 films, smaller roles, of course, and they haven't come out yet.
And despite that advice from his therapist, he's living in L.A.
Can we say it? Are you Al Pacino an L.A. guy now?
No.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's a bridge too far.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I still speak English. In L.A., they speak Hollywood.
Truth is, this is where they make movies. A fitting place for a guy who remains what he's always been, an actor, still experiencing the same buzz he felt 60 years ago on an off-Broadway stage in New York.
I said, I'm never going to do anything else but this. I have found it. I don't care what happens to me. Whether I succeed, not succeed, didn't matter. I had this.
Yeah, you write that, like, maybe I'll be able to eat or I won't eat. Maybe I'll have money or I won't have money.
Exactly.
Maybe I'll become famous. Maybe I won't. Doesn't matter.
Didn't matter.
Because?
That's the freedom. This was where I belonged.